And if you could stand there, so I sat one time, in the end I had to have secure visits on my own because everyone wanted to kill me. And I'm sat up on this balcony looking, and as I look down on the prisoner hall, there must be, say there's 100 men with their families coming to see them. And I just looked at how many of them had the big beards. Yeah, because the big beards, how many of them that aren't Asian, that aren't Pakistani, yeah, it's whites, it's blacks, everyone's converted. Yeah? And they've converted to the biggest gang in the system. It's used for power, it's used for control. If you could see the what is actually happening. So I went from prison to prison, I went to 5 prisons, and I saw that the toughest, most violent men in our society are all converting to Islam. And they're all coming out, I think it's 600 a year, our security services have said, are coming out radicalised into our country, yeah, from the prison system.
Yeah.
And I had one of my best friends, Barry, he's now called Imran. He was sentenced to 4.5 years when he was probably 21. He's now a radical, yeah, converted in prison. We obviously don't have any contact anymore, but we were best friends through growing up. So I've seen the effect it can have on all of these people, and nothing's being done to address it. Now, 90% of the imams in the prison system are Deobandi, yeah? A conservative, strict, radical form of Islam. We allow 90% of the imams in a Deobandi. Yeah? It's like, it's insane. I personally don't think there should be any religion in universities. I don't think there should be any religion in again, it's wrong, I think, to tarnish all the other religions. I don't think Islam, if you've got these Muslims who David Cameron and our politicians keep telling us aren't Muslims, okay, or they're not Muslims. But if they're not Muslims, they don't need a Quran. They don't need to go to mosque. They don't need halami. Yeah? Because you keep telling us they're not Muslims. They're committing all these terrorist acts, and you're saying it's not. It goes against Islam. This is what you're all saying. Well, why are you allowing them? Because that's what it is. And when the call goes to prayer in prison, I remember sitting there looking and just watching everyone get up, just thinking, Jesus, everyone's Muslim.
Yeah.
And that is, and there's a knock-on effect. The prison system, the university systems, it's exactly the same in everything. It's just the problem's so bad. When I went through the university system and I looked through who's talking and how many terrorists have come out of university, yeah, who are members of the local University Islamic Society, it's about 15 or 20 in the UK.
Yeah.
It's insane. Every single system that can be used to radicalise is being used.
Do you think this is planned and intentional?
That's intentional. There's no way that you can go to France and have 7% of the country Muslim, 70% of the prisons Muslim. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So similar statistics in Belgium. Similar statistics if you go to the real high-end prisons in the UK. That I believe that our prisons have been targeted for where to radicalise and where to recruit. There is they've been targeted, and the same now will be happening in America. America are a few years behind us, but what America need to understand is in their prison system, it's going to get as bad as ours. Yeah? So you're going to have the toughest men in your community. If you understand the effect that has, so the toughest boy in my community was one of my best friends who converted to Islam, Barry. The estate he was from would have been a bit of a resistance to Islam, a bit of resistance to the heroin dealing, a bit of resistance to the pimping gangs. The kids on that estate would resist it. Yeah? They'd battle with them. Yeah? Then Barry comes out of prison, he's a Muslim. All of a sudden the resistance is dead.
So if you're in one of those prisons and you don't convert and you just say, oh well...
You get beaten.
Really? I mean, is that...
So if you want to be safe, and I can tell you again, so I got moved from Wood Hill Prison down to Winchester. Mm-hmm. Now Winchester, the catchment area for Winchester is Portsmouth, Southampton. Anyone who knows the UK knows there's not that many Muslims in that area. If there are Muslims, they don't have the radical jihadist problem that Birmingham, Luton, Bradford, all these other areas, London has.
Yeah.
So when I went there, there's not as many Muslims. Now I watched white boys come into that prison with big beards, yeah. They'd come on the wing, I was on the induction wing, I was working on the induction wing. So they'd come on the first wing and they'd look around and they'd watch, and then after 2 weeks of assessing it, situation of who controls the prison, how it is, they'd shave their beard off and they'd be eating pork pies on the menu. And I'd go and speak to them, and they've said, mate, I've just come from Bullingdon. Yeah, this kept me safe.
Wow.
Yeah, no one will mess with you if you're a Muslim. Everyone's converted. In Wood Hill, they told me the story of they had a gang of 10 come. This was years ago. A gang of 10 young Muslims come from one of the London prisons into Wood Hill and Milton Keynes, and within a week, 60 people are converted because they were just putting it on everyone. Convert to us. It's a gang. What other religion can be used as a gang like that? None.
Yeah. But how do you combat that?
Yeah. We're at war and we have an enemy. Okay. That enemy, which they would call Islamist, radical jihadists, yeah, they should not be in the normal prison system. Yeah? They shouldn't be. You've got all these terrorists being put in prison, and no one can say, right, if a terrorist gets 10 years, he's going to come out worse in 10 years. We know that.
Yeah.
None of them are straightening up. None of them, they're actually getting more radicalised in prison. Why is he being released? Why are these? If we're at war and this war